You're walking to your car at night. The parking lot is empty. Then you see it. A shape moving against the wall, stretched and distorted twice your height. Your heart slams against your ribs. But then you turn. It's just a plastic bag caught in the wind. Nothing was ever there. So why did your body react like your life was on the line? Here's the strange part. The shadow scared you more than the bag ever could have. If you'd seen the bag first, you might not have flinched at all. Your brain wasn't afraid of the object. It was afraid of not knowing what the object was. And that gap, the space between seeing something and understanding it, might be the most powerful fear switch you own. Think about the last time you were truly startled. Was it a spider on your arm? Or was it the feeling of something on your arm in the dark before you knew what it was? For most people, it's the second one. The moment before identification is worse than the moment of confirmation, even if the confirmed thing is genuinely dangerous. Your nervous system treats uncertainty as its own category of threat, separate from the threat itself. This isn't a personality quirk. It's architecture. Deep in your brain sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping how it works, and what he found reshaped how scientists think about fear. Your amygdala doesn't wait for your conscious mind to finish analyzing a situation. It runs a shortcut. Raw sensory data, like a moving shadow, gets rushed straight to the amygdala before your visual cortex has even finished building a clear picture. Ledoux called this the low road. It's fast, it's sloppy, and it would rather be wrong and alive than accurate and dead. That's the key. Speed over accuracy. Your amygdala isn't trying to identify the shadow correctly. It's trying to prepare your body for the worst-case version of that shadow, just in case. And it does this before you've even had the chance to think the words, "It's probably nothing." Now here's where it gets older than you might expect. This wiring isn't new. It's ancient. Psychologist Arne Ullman ran a series of experiments showing that humans and primates learn to fear certain shapes with astonishing speed, snakes especially, compared to how slowly we learn to fear things that are statistically far more dangerous, like electrical outlets or cars. Why would your brain be so quick to fear a snake-like shape and so slow to fear a plug socket? Because for most of human history, the shape mattered more than the statistics. A curved silhouette in tall grass didn't come with a warning label. You didn't get a second chance to learn from your mistake. So evolution built in a shortcut. React first, sort it out later. A shadow works the same way. It gives your brain just enough shape to trigger the ancient pattern matching system, without giving it enough detail to rule the pattern out. It's a snake-shaped question mark. And question marks, to a brain built for survival, are far more dangerous than answers. There's a related experiment that reveals just how deep this goes. Psychologist Susan Manica raised lab-bred rhesus monkeys that had never encountered a snake in their lives. These monkeys showed no innate fear of snakes at all, but when they watched a video of another monkey reacting fearfully to a snake, just once, they developed a lasting fear themselves. Manica then tried the same trick with flowers. She spliced footage to make it look like a monkey was terrified of a flower. It didn't work. No amount of exposure could make the monkeys afraid of something evolution hadn't already flagged as a candidate threat. Your brain isn't a blank slate that fears things randomly. It comes preloaded with a short list of shapes worth worrying about. Shadows, with their sudden movement and unclear edges, land right at the top of that list. But why is uncertainty itself so exhausting and so frightening, even outside of shadows in a parking lot? For that, look at the work of neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress in wild baboons. Sapolsky found something counterintuitive. Baboons living with a clear, predictable threat, a known rival, a known hierarchy, showed lower chronic stress than baboons living with ambiguous, unpredictable social situations. Predictable danger, it turns out, is easier on the body than unpredictable uncertainty. Your stress hormones spike harder when you don't know what's coming than when you do, even if what's coming is worse. Doesn't that flip the way you think about fear? You'd assume the actual threat is always scarier than the unknown one. But your biology disagrees. Once you can name the thing, categorize it, place it in a box labeled safe or dangerous, your nervous system gets to stand down. It's the not knowing that keeps the alarm running. This is why horror movies almost never show the monster in the first act. Directors have understood this instinctively for 100 years, long before anyone ran a brain scan. A door creaking open in the dark is scarier than a door creaking open in daylight, revealing an empty room. Your imagination, powered by that same ancient pattern-matching amygdala, fills the gap with something worse than anything a set designer could build. The moment the monster steps into full light, ironically, is often the moment the scene gets less scary. The reveal collapses the uncertainty, and uncertainty was the real monster all along. So think back to that shadow on the wall. Your brain didn't need to know it was a plastic bag to react. It only needed an ambiguous shape, sudden motion, and a lack of information. That combination was was enough to override thousands of years of you knowing, rationally, that parking lots at your workplace are not exactly hunting grounds. The ancient system doesn't care about your rational context. It only cares about pattern and gap. Here's the part that might actually change how you move through your days. This same mechanism doesn't only fire for shadows. It fires for uncertain emails, ambiguous texts from someone you care about, a vague comment from your boss that could mean nothing or could mean everything. Your body treats unresolved social ambiguity almost exactly like it treats an unresolved shape in the dark. The heart rate, the tight chest, the looping thoughts, that's not weakness. That's the same low-road Ledoux mapped, just repurposed for modern life, where the predators are rarely animals and mostly uncertainty itself. Knowing this doesn't shut the system off. You can't out-argue your amygdala, but you can recognize what's actually happening in the moment it happens. Not that something dangerous is definitely there, only that something unresolved is there, and your ancient wiring has mistaken the gap for the ghost. So the next time a shape moves at the edge of your vision, and your whole body goes rigid before your mind catches up, remember what's really happening. You're not afraid of the shadow. You've never been afraid of the shadow. You're afraid of what the shadow hasn't told you yet.